So do you know who you are? Like really, what lights you up? What brings you joys and your passions? Or are you defining yourself based on those people around you and what they think or their opinions and how they're feeling, and then that defines you? In today's video, I'm going to go into looking at and exploring how to start shifting and defining ourselves, but then as well, how to start really finding what lights you up, what brings you joy, and your passions in life. So thank you for joining me. I'm AmyC with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach. And currently, if you check in the dialog box below, I have a course, a little mini course that you can snag up, and it is taking a dive into yourself, like starting to really step into and finding who you are and taking a look at where you currently are, and then being able to shift into a place of really living a life that is satisfying in yourself and really finding this inner knowing in yourself to live this life of your dreams. So again, do check that out. That's in the dialog box below. And it is a journey back to yourself, back into your inner knowing. So if you're like me, growing up, what you learned, the conditioning, the stories, the beliefs that you were in, is that if everyone around you was happy, you were happy. If the family unit, if the friends, the group, whatever you're in, they were all feeling good, you were feeling good. And if all of their needs were met, then your needs were met. So you had, again, if you're like me, you had this conditioning, this storyline that everyone else's needs, their feelings is what defined you. And you brought this in or believed in this because it was just something that was modeled to you, or a belief, or you had to appease and keep the other people happy. And in doing so, you were then kept happy. Again, there's many different reasons or conditions or ways that you were that brought this into your life so that you could maintain kind of a equilibrium or a happiness, a level of happiness. But in this, you were then conditioned, and I was then conditioned into a place of believing that everything outside of me mattered more than me. And everything outside of me was what then defined me. Whereas if you start to shift that and you want to really find what lights you up on the inside, what brings you joy and passions, it's not from appeasing all these people outside of you. It's actually from looking inside. It's actually from starting to find what lights you up and what brings you joy. And for myself over the years, is I was so conditioned to looking outside of me and defining myself by that, that I had no idea who I really was. Like when people ask me, it's like, yeah, I could say that I enjoyed photography, I enjoyed creating images, I enjoyed certain things. So that I kind of knew was me, but it was still like, who really, what is my identity? Who am I? Like everything I defined by these ideas outside of me rather than really looking within. And think about this for a second. If you're defining yourself based on what everyone else is thinking or being or doing, it's still our storyline inside of us that says, oh, this person's happy, so that means I'm happy. So you're putting a condition on, oh, I'll be happy because they are, but this is still my story. So it's still coming from within me that these stories, these beliefs, these conditions are from inside of me. So taking a moment, stepping back, not needing looking outside of you, but looking within. So if you're wanting to really start finding your passions, really start finding your joys, it's to start exploring it. The first step, of course, is realizing that you're not going to find it from outside of you. You have to look within. It is within you, and everything comes from within you, and starting to tap into listening, which, talking about listening, getting connected to yourself, that is what my course is about, where we start to connect to these joys within you, connect to these things, and learn who you are from the inside out. So again, do check that out in the dialog box below. But that is how you can start to really find your joys, your passion. And it takes exploration. It's not just a, hey, this is what you do. Like someone is going to come up and tell you that's what you do. No, you actually have to find what lights you up. And when I say what lights you up, it's like you feel this swelling in your heart of like, this is so fun for me. This is so enjoyable for me. This I love doing. So it's finding those little things that just kind of click in you of like, this brings joy, this really brings happiness, or this brings this swelling in my heart of happiness, love, whatever you want to call it. That is when you're starting to tap into what is your purpose, what is you're supposed to be doing in your life for you. And our journey in life, for myself, I've been through chasing after all of these titles, these external things, but I still wasn't happy. So I was like, well, what's gonna make me happy? And I had to then start exploring and start learning what really lit me up. And I feel like my journey in life has been about having those experiences along the way and learning along the way, but then as well, finding what really does bring me joy, what really settles into me and feels like this. I can spend my life doing this. So again, first recognizing that it's not going to come from outside of you, it's going to come from within, and then start exploring it. And right now as well, in the dialog box below, I have a freebie that you can snag up, which is the IKIGAI. So the IKIGAI is what the Japanese, or it's a Japanese term for your reason for being. And there's 4 different categories within it, and you can fill out these categories and really start to look within yourself to be like, this is what brings me joy. This is what does fill me up more. So the 4 categories within this is what you love. So what is it you love? And you just start writing, and it can even be simple things like, for myself, I love sitting in a cafe with a cup of tea. Like simple things too, like I love creating images with photography or whatever it is. And then from what you love, it's also what you're good at, like skills that you have, things that you do. Like you could even be good at organizing. Whatever it is, again, make this list. And then what you could get paid for. So it's getting deeper into how you can be in contribution to others. And then the last one is what the world needs. So it could be like looking at the list that you've made and seeing out of those lists, what does the world actually need? Again, we're then coming into a place of what and how you can contribute to the world. And in contribution, that then also brings in more joy, more happiness within yourself. So again, you can check out, snag up the freebie below, or you can also just Google IKIGAI, and you can find a lot of different information on it with these questions that you can fill out and explore in yourself. But those are like the first steps of really like acknowledging, noticing the answer's not from outside of you, and then starting to look within, like starting to get these answers within you, and then start doing it, like actually taking action towards these things that do light you up and bringing in little bits of it into your life. So again, do check out the course below. If you're curious to explore more, there's other things that I go into in the course as well, of starting to really tap into your loves, your joys, who you are. And thank you guys. If you are enjoying and getting value out of these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe. And thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.